Hello Capricorn, thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using Tarot Grand Lux by Chiro Marchetti. Website at the top is usgamesinc.com. Feel free to freeze frame on that if you need the spelling, of course. Supportive Oracle cards, Magical Spell cards by Lucy Cavendish. Illustrated by Jesse Reish. There's also the hayhouse.com website. Feel free to freeze frame and check out any of that information if you would like to. Capricorn. Why is that over to the side a little bit? We'll find out in a second, I'm sure. Oh. I say that, and then the Wheel of Fortune shows up, because I'm like, why are things a little off here? And then the Wheel of Fortune is random energy, and I'm thinking, well, alright. Alright, I see where that kind of... That's why it's off, because there's random energy here. It's kind of throwing things a little off. Ironically, I don't think anything is bad, but it may be like when things don't go like they should, like things don't go on the plan, like things go a little bit different. Even if it's good, it just seems to be like Capricorn's like, even if it's good, it's kind of like, is it though? I feel like we're triple checking when things go random, even though it goes good. Even if it goes good, it's kind of like, we're still going to at least triple check this. Because it's like the random, like I want to know why it was random. I want to know why that happened that way. I feel like that's there. I'm getting like something is changing. It's kind of like what I'm getting is I'm getting a party reference for some reason. We were going to leave at this time, we were going to take this vehicle, and we were going to wear these clothes. I feel like I'm still going with the same person, but plans have changed. It's not the same day, and we're not wearing the same clothes. We're using different transportation, and it's starting at a different time. It's like something that was going to be an evening event, now going to be a few days later, and it's going to be a midday event. That seems to be what has changed, but ironically, it also works to your benefit. The change is working to your benefit. Kind of like, yeah, I like that better, but also the fact that it's changing and the way it's changing, I'm like, but wait, why is it changing? Like, I want to know why it's changing. Kind of like, all right, yeah, that's better, but can I really believe in that? Like, why did the last one change? It's kind of like Capricorn is not up against things going better. Contrary to that, like you're definitely, yes, you would love things to go better than expected. If things are more lucrative or more pleasing, if you get a better outcome, yeah, that's great. But why? And explain to me why I can believe in this outcome versus the other outcome that wasn't as good, but why did it change? That's what it is. I feel like that's what we're going for. Like, yeah, but why? Because I need to know that, like, is it trustworthy? Trustworthy. It's changing because I'm getting somebody was trying to hold on to something that they couldn't hold on to. I don't think you're aware of this, though. Okay, what can we get just a little bit more clarity before we go down the road there? Five of Pentacles reversed. Somebody was trying to get involved. Somebody was trying to make something happen that they really weren't meant for. Somebody was trying to color this situation. How do I explain this? This reminds me, this is a long time ago that this happened. It's like, I'm going to use a work analogy. I feel like this is like somebody in upper management trying to just prove that they have power. So they're like, I'm just going to take this over this time, and I'm going to make this happen. It's kind of like somebody who is a little bit too big for their britches. Yeah, they might be in upper management, but they really don't understand all the pieces that go into a certain situation. So they try to make something happen, and when they do, there's a lot of missing connections here. Kind of like they didn't plan for that right. They didn't realize like this was a factor. They didn't realize that that was a factor. Like they didn't understand how much money went into this. They just never really got that caught up in the details. Maybe they knew the overall dollar value, but not where every dollar value, like not how all these pieces added up to the major dollar value. They just saw like this cost, make it really simple, $100. Then I realized $20 went here, $5 went here, $15 went there. Like they didn't understand how it all added up. So it's kind of like maybe they have the ability to take over, but they don't have they don't know how to do it, or they are so disconnected from it they don't really know exactly what to do. I feel like that's why this changed, because it was not coming together correctly, and there's a lot of pieces missing. And instead of having the embarrassment of forcing it through at the correct date, I don't know, I'm very air quotes today. Instead of using the correct date, the original date, which is the original date, and showing all, like, it's going to prove that they don't know what they it's going to prove that they shouldn't be doing that, or that, like, they're out of practice at the very least. They got the help they needed, and then somebody said, well, if you want it to work out correctly, there's no way it's going to work correctly on that date. We can pull it together, but people are going to know that we pulled it together. It'll be just barely make the grade, but people will know that something wasn't right. If you want it to come off flawlessly, we're going to have to move the date if you want it to look that great. So I feel like they seceded and said, you know what, I don't want people to think I don't know what I'm doing. Instead, I'd rather just move it and just kind of like just say we have to move it, just scheduling conflicts or just something easy. That's, I feel like, why somebody tried to take over something that maybe, just to be fair, maybe at one point in time they could have, but they're either out of connection, or there's just something here that they short-sighted, out of practice, something. Because I feel like somebody was trying to flex and then they failed. Are you going to see this, like, are you going to get that, like, tangible proof that this is what's going on? Halfway yes, halfway no. This person, like, if people ask too many questions, they're going to know. If they notice people asking too many questions, it's going to cause an issue. I keep getting an upper management thing, which doesn't have to mean this is a work thing or there's any management type thing, but it's like somebody who's like, they feel like I can do what I want. You shouldn't really question what I do. They have that type of air about them. So if they're aware that people are questioning them, you could end up getting targeted, just to be fair. I feel like if you just kind of have a, like, very, like, ask the right people, like, I wonder what happened. Let them tell you. Be careful not to ask too many questions. Just kind of like, whatever they tell you, let them tell you, and go, oh, okay, and just absorb it, and just soak it in. Even if it's somebody who, like, you can usually ask questions to, I'm getting, like, be careful. Don't ask questions. I don't see anybody purposely trying to blow you in or anything like that, but your questions might get people wondering, and they might go searching out those questions. That could add a whole new level. I know you like to know all the, like, exactly what made what up and how it all fit together, but they're saying if you go down that road too far, it's going to have an issue. There's going to be an issue there. You might end up getting targeted later, because it seems like somebody might have a fragile ego. And when they feel like, oh, Capricorn's figuring me out, or if you're a part of a group of people, they might target that group and just kind of like, just make problems that you don't need. So keep that in mind. And I feel like whatever this event is or this situation is, you can move forward and be fine without those answers. It's but I want to know, and it's that energy, but I want to know. Be aware of it. If you start a conversation very lightly, let the information come to you and just kind of let it be, is what they're saying. Just let it stay there. That way it doesn't become an issue later, because whatever's coming forward, it does work forward. Whatever this is, it does work in your favor. It's a very good connection. Things go very well for you. This is like a success card for me. This is like a passing the test. It doesn't have to be a romantic card. But I also get that you're going to really like what's coming forward. And if you could stay more on the positive with this whole situation, I feel like whoever this is, if we're going to use that same analogy, if it's upper management and you're a regular person, just for argument's sake, if that's how it was, if they're not aware that you're questioning things, they kind of feel like things are fine. They do know that you will question things if you're uncomfortable. So it kind of like, I feel like whoever this is who made the boo-boo, they know that certain people will ask questions. If those questions aren't being really asked and people are just enjoying the event, they kind of feel like they got away with it. It makes a more positive energy going forward. Whatever that random energy was, because there's something else with it too. There are unanswered questions. There's definitely going to be unanswered questions. That does seem to be solving itself, but it also wants to stay very private. We don't want to push people to lie either. if you push too far, yeah, you do seem to kind of rub somebody the wrong way. But you also, I feel like you're going to get false information. And what good are lies? What good are lies? Like, you know what I'm saying? So, one, you don't want people like targeting you because they think you're asking too many questions. And more importantly, if the information you get isn't reliable, what good is it? So keep that in mind. There's something else here coming in. 3 of Wands and the Judgment in your favor. Whoever this energy is, I feel like you're gonna know exactly. Like I feel like you're gonna know who, but not what. I feel like you're gonna know that. Who kind of like didn't do things quite right. Exactly what they didn't do right, you're not gonna know that. Play nice with this energy. They do seem to respect you, even if they're awkward. Some people, they have a way of talking. It's a little abrasive, but that's how they are. And I feel like you might look at this person, watch how they treat other people. Like, I feel like this person respects you, but the way they talk to you, you're like, but they really? As long as you're on positive terms with whoever this is, you got more good things coming your way. I feel like you can figure this out. Somebody who, the way they talk, it's kind of like, but do they really? I don't think you like the way they speak to people, especially the way they speak to you. And I feel like most of the time you don't say anything about it anyway. So let them keep going their way. They do respect you. I just keep getting that because they get like, I don't really care for it, but I can deal with it. Something like that. That's coming forward in the same situation. As long as you play nice, you get this outcome. The Knight of Cups with the prosperity. You're going to love your outcome with this. I also, on the side, I feel like there's a lot of people in life that you really don't care how they talk to you anyway. It's not like you haven't dealt with it before, and it's not like you can't keep it to yourself if you decide you want to. I would really listen to what's going on between the lines, read between the lines a lot of this situation too. I almost feel like I want to write down what people are telling me if I can do that. Because I feel like whoever this is, the way they talk to you, you don't really care for it, but it's well, that's not new. There's a lot of people in this world that do that. But it's something about what they're telling you. I feel like they're telling you something without directly telling you. There might be a little bit of a puzzle. Pay attention to the topics they bring up with you. The topics, and maybe, I don't know about the details, but it's the topics. I keep getting the topics they keep bringing up. Pay attention to that. Maybe write that down. At the end of the day, oh yeah, I talked to so-and-so again. This topic came up, that topic came up, and this topic came up, and maybe a couple little bullet points beneath each of them if you just want to remember more about the situation. And every time they talk to you at the end of the day, do that. I think you're going to see what's coming forward. Because they're it's almost like they're telling you without telling you what's coming forward. I don't know. If you want to write it down, write it down. If you don't, don't. You know what I mean? Because something more is coming forward for you. So what is the point of this? The point of this is saying something changed, went from okay to better. Don't ask too many questions about it. Let information come to you, but kind of sit on it. The same situation, because I feel like there's a conversation that's coming. I feel like that's the point. And you're going to have the ability to ask questions if you want to. They're saying, do yourself a favor, don't. But more importantly, pay attention to the topics. It's the topics. It feels like it's the topics to me. If you get caught up in the details, I feel like I get lost in the forest, and I don't see the trees. I don't see the forest for the trees. I get lost in the forest. But if I'm looking at hey, there's a lot of junipers and there's a lot of birch or whatever, and I'm there's interesting. Why would those be here? What type of animals, what type of birds, deal with those trees? Something like that. I feel like it's the topic. I want to get to the topic. Something about the topic. The topic seems to be giving you a heads up about this other good stuff coming your way. So it's kind of you could get a heads up here if you just look at the topics. It's the umbrella. The topic. Something about the topic. I don't know. I'm not getting anything else with it, so I guess I'm going to leave it there. All right, I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day.